This is Liz Colburn, host of Invited. Thanks for checking out the following podcast on Public House Media.
Yay! Live! Wonderful. Okay. Hello, everyone. It's No Filter Friday on Public House Media, and I'm sitting here with a LaCroix and some juicy tidbits, and we're announcing our giveaway winner later after we're done talking about all this juice. So stick around for that because that was a fun giveaway to do. And, I really wish this looked nicer. I cannot express to you in words how much I cannot stand this new Facebook Live situation. Like, it looks terrible to me. Like, absolutely terrible. Hang on, let's see if we can move around a bit. I'm going to move this. I've been doing so much work in this chair at this desk. It is, I don't want to say it's frightening because I'm happy with the work that I'm doing, but I would show you my desk, but it's shameful. Anyway, I can see people coming in. Can you leave a comment so I know that it's you? Yay, sound of LaCroix. Thank God for David Bobke. Thank God. Okay, I'm going to take a second to share the show because sharing is caring, and that's what we do around here. That's what we do around here. Okay. Share the show. Share the show. And Alexa's here. Wonderful. Okay, wonderful. I just need to hit share. That's all I need. I don't need to watch myself. I just want to hit share. That's all I want. Anytime now, Facebook. Anytime. Oh, so painful. There it is. Great. Announcing. Giveaway winner. Post. Okay, perfect. Great. Wonderful. So the things that we shall cover this evening are, number one, we're going to talk about this new HR service that just opened. These ladies just opened, and it seems really, really interesting. I found an article about what they've been doing, and it seems really, really cool. If you listen to the podcast with Ryan Sorsha, the guy that does Jado, the app, this is kind of like a corporate diet version of that, I guess you could say. Not necessarily for predators, but just for like sexual harassment in the workplace, like dynamic, which is really, really cool. I can see people coming in. Can you announce yourself so I know who you are? And I'm not sitting here lonely, please. Because all I can see is David Bobke, and that's, as for as much as I love David Bobke, that's just sad. So we're going to talk about that. And then, hello, people coming in. I can't see who you are unless you leave me a comment. And then we're going to talk about some of these international pedophile ring busts, which of course is always my favorite topic, especially during Corona time, because Corona time is pedophile ring bust time. And then at the end, we're going to do our giveaway announcement for, I should hold this box upside correctly. We're going to give these collecting hoops that conveniently look like handcuffs. We're going to give these away at the end of the show. So, okay, let's get into this, this HR thing. So we have talked ad nauseum on this show and, the world in general about what is going to happen with Me Too? How is that changing us? Is anything getting done? Is anything happening? What is this new hashtag Me Too era that we're living in? Because hashtag Me Too will last longer than coronavirus. And the coronavirus is not going anywhere anytime soon. Or the hype. I shouldn't say the virus, but like the hype around it. So let's talk about this for a hot second. So this came from benefitnews.com, and I thought it was really interesting, and it just came out this morning. This woman 6 months after reflection on what happened led her to this woman, Jana Morin, her to co-found with an old friend, a workplace mistreatment and resources platform called Speakfully. Together, they sought to help organizations navigate emotional landmines as much as employees who need to document abusive behavior without fear of retribution. It helps both sides, she says, nothing the importance of building a culture of trust, accountability, and safety. The employee is able to come forward with all the necessary information, but it also gives an organization what they need to investigate and take action. So basically what Speakfully does, because on the heels of Harvey Weinstein, American companies saw like 20% influx in their like increase of sexual harassment claims. So this is like a problem across the board, and the Employment of Equal Opportunity Commission is trying to like sort this out, and like everybody's trying to deal with it in some way, shape, or form. And apparently last year, employers paid out $68.2 million in settlements for these cases. So like, get you some software so you don't have to do this, or you can try not to. So the company isn't held liable, but the perpetrator is, because perpetrators should be held liable. So anyway, what this does is that apparently it's a little bit expensive. It's for bigger companies with like more than 1,000 employees. But the idea is that it helps employees and employers document happenings between the two. So that way everything is like time stamped, and they have receipts. You need receipts. You're gonna have to have more receipts than Kim Kardashian to get anything done. And it helps both parties, kind of like body cams on cops do, because if one person says something and it didn't happen, like there's recourse on the other side. Or if somebody says something and it did happen, there's well-documented evidence to be submitted as proof of these claims. So all of that's really, really important. So if you have a bigger company, or if you're an HR person, I would like to know what you think about this Speakfully technology that they put together for HR purposes in the time of #MeToo. So I think that's interesting. Now to the tea. So good. To quote Wendy Williams, it's exceptionally good tea. So apparently, in Belgium, Europe cracks down on global pedophile ring. This was published on Saturday, April 4th. Belgian authorities, working in partnership with Europol, have convicted 4 suspects as part of an ongoing international probe into pedophile rings that abuse children just a few months old. Federal police in Belgium say on Tuesday that a court in Brussels has convicted 4 men in one of the largest cases of sexual abuse of minors ever known, with authorities cooperating on investigations into further suspects across no less than 44 countries worldwide. This is a big ring, folks, and it doesn't surprise me that it came from Belgium, and here's why. Back when I was researching my documentary for trying to find people to interview, I ran into a few people, some of which I'm still friends with, but I ran across the story of this woman who was trafficked as a child, and she was a victim and survivor of satanic ritual abuse. Now, I'm a big advocate of using the term survivor if somebody went through it and they survived, because there is not very many people in this world that survive human trafficking, survive sex crimes, survive SRA, and live to tell the tale. Victim, survivor, 2 different things. But in my opinion, this lady was definitely both. Still alive, but, SRA is a doozy. So apparently this woman was abducted when she was a small child, probably around 5. And she told this vividly awful story of being taken to some disgusting party in Brussels, in Belgium, and how the 7-year-old that she was, they like chained her up on a stage and like made her eat a bowl of human feces as the entertainment for some party. So the fact that this story comes out of Brussels does not surprise me one bit, because they get up to some nasty stuff over there. And what else? What else is in Brussels? Oh yeah, the seat of the EU. Surprise, surprise. That's not a coincidence, kids. Anyway, the probe began in 2015 after one of the men was caught taking photos of children playing naked on a beach in Belgium. His arrest led police to another suspect in the town of Wetteren in East Flanders. Sounds terrible. Where they discovered more than 15 terabytes of child abuse images. Don't know if you know how big a terabyte is, but this holds a terabyte. This is my my hard drive from Snapchat. So imagine this plus 14 more sitting in some guy's living room with child porn on it, and God knows to what varying degrees. The database reportedly contained more than 9 million pictures and videos. Police described the quantity of images and the footage as unprecedented, with mostly male victims, all under the age of 13, some as young as a few months old. What did I tell you when we got to the Jeffrey Epstein situation and we started uncovering St. James Island and all this stuff? It's the ages are going to get younger and younger and younger. And finally, in April, we're starting to talk about infants. How wonderful. We're finally getting there, kids. Let me scroll back up. A few months old. The investigative body claimed that the abuse was particularly serious and that in addition to physical injuries, they might cause significant psychological damage to the victims, marking them for life. Obvi. That's not... goes without saying, or at least it should. And added to that, being exposed to such disgusting images and messages on a daily basis was hard for even veteran investigators. So far, Europol has assisted Belgian police in identifying 90 suspects, 24 of whom were located in Belgium, and at least 110 of their victims. 4 of the suspects convicted on Tuesday, including the man who was caught taking photographs on the beach, received sentences ranging from 5 to 16 years. Belgian press agency Belga reported the 5th defendant is reportedly undergoing psychological evaluation. Now, 5 to 16 years is not enough in any country. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. However, for Europe, especially somewhere in the Benelux region, 5 to not enough years. Isn't it right, Aussie? Isn't it right? Somewhere in the Benelux region, that's actually a ton. Another thing that I another interview that we had on the documentary was this guy that was in prison, or he had been released from prison in Germany. And he went to prison for attempted murder, and he was only sentenced to 4 years for attempted murder, because Europeans, especially Scandinavian countries, do not believe in these long sentences. Like the United States is really one of the only countries that does these long prison sentences. And you know what? I'm so sick to death of hearing about oh, the poor nonviolent criminals. Oh, just let them go. No. The things that some of these disgusting places consider nonviolent crime will make you vomit. I digress. Among the defendants, 3 are from Belgium, while 1 is from the Netherlands and another from the UK, according to Child Focus, an anti-abuse NGO. That means non-government organization. It's kind of the same. It's equivalent to an NPO in the United States. They were reportedly under 40 and either have children themselves or work with minors. We have talked about grooming. That's the grooming thing. Oh my God, I can't believe this person would do that. They were a kindergarten teacher, or they were a bus driver, or they were a soccer coach, or whatever, or they were a U.S. Olympic gymnast team physician. They get in these places to have access to your kids. Watch yourself. Okay, they attempted, the men reportedly filmed themselves abusing several children and later added the recordings to the database. They attempted to establish predatory contact with minors through such social media sites as Omegle. I've never heard of this, but apparently it's probably a thing in Europe. Child Focus, which acted as a civil party on the trial on behalf of the unidentified victims, criticized the exceptional softness of the indictment. Many of the suspects will have time served in preventative detention deducted from their sentences. How disgusting is that? The NGO claims that the risk of repeat offending from abusers is high, which it is. They're not playing games with that. Adding the sentences are a slap in the face for all the victims. Totally. Can you imagine being a small child or an infant and having someone not only sexually abuse you, rape you, molest, God knows, film it and then sell it, and you have to live your whole life with this looming over you, and that person got 5 to 16 years. Whoop-de-doo. In some cushy European prison. It gives a totally wrong signal to potential perpetrators and general public. Belgium has attracted criticism over the past few decades for its perceived permissiveness towards major child sexual exploitation scandals. A recent Amnesty International survey estimated that 1 in 4 under 19 in the country had been a victim of rape, and 53% of such cases never made it to trial. Isn't that interesting how we're in Brussels, the seat of the EU, that they dictate to every single country within Europe, like, save for now the UK and Switzerland, that they have such problems abusing children that they just can't keep themselves from perpetrating sex crimes against kids? So very, very strange. Sick Benelux freaks. This is where it gets really good. This is the milk in the tea. According to Europol, the crackdown has also led to trials in other countries like Australia, where the suspect was recently sentenced to 15 years in prison. The sting, dubbed Operation Gargamel, after the villain from the children's television program The Smurfs, continues as authorities from all around the world cooperate in identifying other victims and suspects. This is the type of thing that we need to be talking about. Hang on, somebody else is commenting and I can't see who it is because I'm going to look at my phone. Okay, wonderful. I know nobody wants to really fully admit it, but I think at this point, if you're not really seeing the cracks in this whole, oh my God, coronavirus pandemic yet, you will this week. It's bound to happen. If you haven't seen it yet, you're going to see it happen. And there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that have everything to do with all these international arrests of all different varieties. I talk about, the sex crime related situations on this show because I have to stay on topic because we talk about #MeToo. That's what we do on this show. But as a reminder, as soon as Saudi Arabia closed its borders, they arrested almost 300 of their government officials for fraud. Things are going down and they don't have anything to do with the little bug. Nothing to do with them. So even though coronavirus is absolutely hands down dominating our news cycle, dominating our brains, dominating every second of the day, don't let stuff like this pass you by, because there are places out there that are not the mainstream media that are just giving you a recounting of things that have already happened. They're not putting any emotions or spin on it, but they're just telling you what happened. So keep an eye out for those things. And when you see them, talk about them. We've already talked coronavirus to death. You're just talking in circles anyway. There's really no point in doing it. So if you see things from decent sources that are not corona related, talk about them. A, because they're probably topics that need to be discussed, and B, we've got to get out from underneath this absolutely inundation with this virus and this whole, global pandemic zombie apocalypse that we're living under, because, we went from pedo apocalypse to zombie apocalypse. And even though I have talked at length with Max Brooks about, the event of a zombie apocalypse, I think this is what it really means. I think the mindless sauntering and just hive mind groupthink, if you ever saw that Will Smith movie, I Am Legend, kind of like that. I think this is the zombies that we're seeing. Those are the real zombies. The people that are having full on fist fights in the store over toilet paper, when you know good and well, just by looking at these fools, that they don't even have the sense to wipe from front to back. Those are the zombies, kids. Those are the zombies. You cannot convince me otherwise. Like, the brainless lockstep, those are it. Those are the zombies. The going after each other's throats, the eating each other's brains. That's actually a saying in other, it's like an expression in other languages, is like eating someone's head. Like, it's kind of like jumping down their throat. It's kind of like the same thing. And I think that really rings true in these trying, difficult times. So that's my I'm pleading with you as an audience. And I don't even feel like you're an audience, because I do this show live for a reason. We're talking to each other because we love each other. We've been doing this for years now. This is this long-term serious relationship. When you see other things to talk about that are not coronavirus, please talk about them, because A, they've made it through the news cycle, which is really, really hard to do right now because it's dominated. And B, it's probably important stuff, and it'll be good for your... Someone had to say somebody about the people with the toilet paper, and I'm glad it was you. You know what, Greg? I'm here for you, baby. I'm here for you. So with that being said, if you see other things to talk about, for the love of God, please do. I don't care what it is, and even if it's nothing, that's great. But I would say if it can make it through the obstacle course, the American Ninja Warrior level obstacle course that is the current media, it's worth talking about. So do it. We don't have anything else to do. Do you see anything else going on around here? No, nothing else to do. So hijack the narrative, kids. Make it your own party. So last week we talked about the white gold hoops that I was giving away from Collectin, and I did all kinds of posts about it, and we have selected a winner here on No Filter Friday. Let me get on the gram here. Oh gosh, my gram has been a wild ride this week. A wild, wild ride. You're kidding. How did this come up on my feed? Am I following her? God, I hope not. Anyway, sidetrack. Sorry, kids. So, the winner of the earrings is, where did she go? Jackie Palumbo. I do not know this person. I think she's a new No Filter Friday person, but that Jackie is the winner of the Collectin earrings, and that will close out this week's current giveaway. I think we're going to do more giveaways over time. It seems to be like a fun thing to do, and it's a good thing to do during the week between No Filter Fridays. Why not have a giveaway? Because I've got so many companies with stuff. Let's do giveaways. They're a really good time. So that is enough No Filter Friday for 1 week. Next week, God only knows how much further down the zombie apocalypse rabbit hole we will be. And I'm not mad at it. We're letting things happen as they happen, and that is okay. That is okay to remove yourself and just sit back and watch things unfold. I'm okay with it. Hopefully you're okay with it too. So that is enough No Filter Friday. I will see you all next week. In the meantime, check out other shows on Public House Media, like Confessions of a Military Spouse and Disarming Disability and Choose to Rise. All lovely shows that do not talk about anything as dark or disgusting as mine does. So, if you're in need of uplifting, by all means leave me. Be driven into the arms of another podcast. And check them out. Give them a review or a star or something. Leave them a comment. And I will see you all next week for more No Filter Friday and God knows what else.